The best way to describe how I'm feeling right now, it's somewhere between Christmas Eve and the night before a liver transplant. And failed to rig the election. He's a rignoramus is what he is.
I'm looking up to the sky. A friend of mine said, you know, you're the most famous man in the world. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
For 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with said election.
Trump literally lost his mind over a simple joke about his marriage. When Jimmy Kimmel quipped about their 20th anniversary at the White House, Donald wasn't laughing. Want to know what's really interesting? Trump's response might have just confirmed what we all suspected about their relationship. That weird AI lion photo he posted afterward? Yeah, nothing says I love my wife like computer-generated animal pictures. Stay tuned to see why this joke hit way too close to home. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever wonder what happens when a comedian hits Trump's most sensitive nerve? Well, Jimmy Kimmel just gave us a masterclass in how to make the former president lose his cool, and he did it in the most savage way possible.
Canada, they are busy sandbagging the border right now. For everyone who says they're going to move there, no, you are not. We are not welcome in Canada.
They rigged the election. The election was rigged. I didn't rig it. They did.
He's actually right about some of that. He didn't rig the election. He tried to rig the election. I had the weirdest dream last night. Remember that guy who used to host The Apprentice? I dreamed we elected him president.
By crashing Trump's anniversary celebration with a truth bomb dropped right from the White House. What made Kimmel's joke so devastating wasn't just what he said, it was where he said it. Imagine celebrating your 20th wedding anniversary, only to have a late-night host roast your marriage on national television from the very building you once called home. Talk about salt in the wound. The joke itself was surgical in its precision. Kimmel pointed out that Trump seemed to only remember his anniversary after seeing other people post about it online. It's like that friend who forgets their partner's birthday until Facebook reminds them, except most people don't then celebrate by posting weird AI images of themselves as lions. Because nothing says I love you like completely ignoring your wife in favor of a computer-generated picture of yourself looking majestic, am I right? Kimmel's been poking at Trump's marriage for years, but this time felt different. Remember that viral moment in 2017 when Melania swatted Trump's hand away on that Israeli tarmac? Or how about that chilling inauguration moment when her smile disappeared faster than Trump's tax returns the moment he turned away?
Our pretzels are being threatened by this man. What else do you need? It's like you'd think we were preparing for a zombie attack. Nobody knows what's going to happen. For 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with said election. Wow, what the hell happened? The hats worked, those stupid hats. Those hats that look like they were printed at a kiosk in the middle of a Westfield mall. He details every step, she detailed every step of the attempt to overthrow the election because it's so close to the election.
Kimmel's been collecting these awkward moments like trading cards. The audience reaction at the White House told the whole story. That mixture of shocked laughter and gasps is what happens when someone finally says out loud what everyone's been thinking for years. The room knew Kimmel wasn't just being mean, he was being uncomfortably accurate. The genius of Kimmel's approach wasn't just in making fun of Trump, it was exposing the fundamental disconnect in how Trump approaches his marriage. Most husbands celebrate anniversaries with dinner, flowers, or at least a real photo together. Trump went with an AI lion. You can't make this stuff up, folks. But here's where Trump made his biggest mistake. Instead of ignoring Kimmel's jab, our thin-skinned former president took the bait like a grumpy fish to water. The minute Kimmel's joke landed, Trump launched into a full-blown tantrum on Truth Social that was about as subtle as a volcano eruption at a library. Instead of chuckling it off like someone actually happy in their marriage, Orange Turd went ballistic, hammering out angry posts where he called Kimmel a third-rate hack and whined about how the failing late-night industry is supposedly obsessed with him. Talk about hitting a nerve. The man's ego is more fragile than a sandcastle during hurricane season. But let's talk about the timing, which is absolutely priceless. While most husbands would be focused on making their wife feel special on their anniversary, Trump chose to spend his sacred marital milestone furiously typing rage posts about a comedian.
No, who's more famous than you? You are the most famous man in the world. What are you talking about? Who's more famous? I said, Jesus Christ. They rigged the election. I didn't rig the election. They rigged the election. What they do is they rig the election and then they go around getting people and persecuting people and prosecuting people that did nothing wrong.
I mean, if anyone needed any more proof that he didn't make America great again, there's plywood in the windows at the Wetzel's Pretzels across the street from him. The case is a scam. Trump is what, 78 years old? You think he knows he can double tap the shift button on his phone?
Nothing says I cherish our 20 years together, quite like ignoring your spouse to defend your wounded pride on social media. The funniest part? Trump's meltdown accidentally confirmed everything Kimmel suggested. It's like he can't help but tell on himself. When faced with a joke about his marriage, his immediate reaction wasn't to post a loving tribute to Melania or share a genuine memory. It was to attack the messenger. That's the behavior of someone who cares way more about his image than his actual relationship.
His plan was to go home to Mar-a-Lago, play 5,000 rounds of golf, phone into Trump TV every morning for 10 years, and then die on the toilet. That was his plan.
And the voters, they get it. They've read it, they get it. And it's already come out. Every single channel is calling it election interference. Ready? So Sioux City, let me ask you, how many people come from Sioux City?
Perfect state, flawless. Nobody even noticed. I control the weather. They would have made sure a house landed directly on you, you demented.
And then there's Melania's reaction to this whole circus. Absolute silence. No defense of her husband. No comment on the joke. Not even a thank you for that weird AI lion picture. Just that signature Sphinx-like absence that speaks volumes about their relationship. While Trump was having a digital tantrum, Melania was, well, who knows? But she certainly wasn't rushing to his defense. This isn't Trump's first rodeo with late-night hosts either. He's got a long history of feuding with comedians, especially Kimmel, showing a consistent pattern. He can dish out insults all day long, but the second someone pokes fun at him, particularly about his personal life, he crumbles faster than a cookie in hot coffee. So here's the big takeaway, folks. When body language experts point out the discomfort and distance between Trump and Melania, they're not just making stuff up. The proof is in the pudding, or in this case, in the bizarre AI lion picture. What started as Kimmel cracking wise at the White House has evolved into something much bigger, a spotlight on how late-night comedy actually shapes our political conversations. Trump's marriage has become the perfect comedy goldmine, not because comedians are being mean, but because the truth is staring us right in the face. The lion didn't roar, he whimpered on social media instead of cuddling with his wife. And that's why comedians like Kimmel will keep winning this battle. They don't need to make up stories about the orange turd. They just need to point at reality and let the audience connect the dots. Sometimes the best punchlines write themselves, don't they?